সো আমি এখন একটা মক টেস্ট দিব অ্যাপিউনিতে, তো দেখি আমার রেজাল্ট কেমন আসে, আমার পারফরমেন্স কেমন দেয়। সো আমি এখানে একটু পড়ে নিই যে read the prompt below in 25 seconds. You must reply in your own words as natural and clearly as possible. You have 30 seconds to record your response. Your response will be sent together with your scores report to the institution selected by you. সো এটার জন্য আমার ফ্লুয়েন্সিটা ঠিক রইলো। সো যখন আমি হচ্ছে রিড অ্যালাউড বলবো তখন হচ্ছে আমার ফ্লুয়েন্সিটা ঠিক থাকবে আশা করি। সো আমার নেক্সটে ক্লিক করে দিই। So first আমার যেই read aloud দিয়েছে এটা আমি একটু পড়ে নিয়েছি। This is a claim that you can argue for or against. It should be something that you can present perceptibly and clearly in the scope of your paper. So keep in mind the page count if possible. Well, your thesis should be somewhat original. So আমি এটা বলবো। So দেখি আমাদের টাইম আপটা শেষ হোক। A thesis is a claim that you can argue for or against. It should be something that you can present persuasively and clearly in the scope of your paper. So keep in mind the page count. If possible, your thesis should be somewhat original. So next করে দিলাম tourism is challenging sector. Tourism is challenging sector which divides statistics since businesses serve tourists also serve local people. Therefore, it is not straightforward to estimate how much business sector's revenues and how many jobs are due to tourist expenditures. Tourism is a challenging sector which divides statistics since businesses serve tourists also serve local people. Therefore, it is not straightforward to estimate how much businesses, sectors, revenues, and how many jobs are due to tourist expenditures. So the number, the Royal Institution is an organization that has been around for 209 years. Many of the people that you have worked with have been scientists themselves, including Michael Faraday. He made the discoveries that made generating and using electricity much easier, making it possible for us all to switch on lights, cook our dinner, play games, consoles, much more and much more. Okay, ঠিক আছে। So আমাদের কাছে আর 10 সেকেন্ড আছে। So আমি 10 সেকেন্ড পর স্টার্ট করে দিব। The Royal Institution is an organization that has been around for 209 years. Many of the people that have worked here have been scientists themselves, including Michael Faraday. We made the discoveries that made generating and using electricity much easier, making it possible for us all to switch on lights, cook our dinner, play games, console, much more. So আমাদের 4 নাম্বারটা, have you ever have you ever pictured a world without light? Just think how much we rely on man-made light sources in our lives. Without engineers, we wouldn't be able to live the way we do. No street lights, no TV, no computer display, no house lights. Engineers design and build all these things, and they also design, build and run the electricity system that power all these light sources. Okay. Have you ever pictured a world without light? Just think how much we rely on man-made light sources in our lives. Without engineers, we wouldn't be able to live the way we do. No street lights, no TV, no computer display, no house lights. Engineers design and build all these things, and they also design, build, and run the electricity system that power all these light sources. Pass number 10. Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development like the reformation that many Russians take in pride in their unique culture find devious value. Russia is as a result the most unusual member of the European family, if indeed it is European at all. The question is still open to debate, particularly among Russians themselves. Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development like the reformation that many Russians take in pride in their unique culture find devious value. Russia is as a result the most unusual member of the European family, if indeed it is European at all. The question is still open to debate, particularly among Russians themselves. Okay, six number. Today, telecommunication is widespread and devices that assist the progress are common in many parts of the world. There is also a vast area of networks that connect these devices, including computer, telephone, and cable networks. Computer communication across the internet, such as email and instant messaging, is just one of many examples of telecommunication. Today, telecommunication is widespread and devices that assist the progress are common in many parts of the world. There is also a vast area of networks that connect these devices, including computer, telephone, and cable networks. Computer communication across the internet, such as email and instant messaging, is just one of many examples of telecommunication. Okay, so এটা আমার ডান হয়ে গেল। এখন আমার রিপিট সেন্টেন্স স্টার্ট।
Assignments must be submitted at the end of the term.
Assignments must be submitted at the end of the term.
I would like tomato and cheese sandwiches on white bread and orange juice.
I would like tomato and cheese sandwiches on white bread and orange juice.
There is a pharmacy on campus near the store.
There is a pharmacy on campus near the store.
Many students are so scared of writing essays because they never learned how.
Many students are so scared of writing essays because they never learn how.
Animals grow larger and stronger to help them to hunt better.
Animals grow larger and stronger to help them to hunt better.
You must wear a hard hat on the construction site.
You must wear a hard hat on the construction site.
Number the beakers and put them away until tomorrow.
Number the bakers and put them away until tomorrow.
Many industries have moved to the countryside where manufacturing costs are lower.
Many industries have moved to the countryside where manufacturing costs are lower.
If you want to receive the reimbursement, you must submit the original receipts.
If you want to receive the reimbursement, you must submit the original receipts.
Globalization has been an overwhelming urban and urbanization phenomenon.
Globalization has been an overwhelming urban and urbanization phenomenon. সো আই হোপ আমি সবগুলাই ডান করেছি। সো আমার এখন একটা পাই চার্ট আছে। সো আমি এটা দেখতে পারতেছি 1 2 3 4 5 6। সো আমার নার্সিং আছে 14%, এদিকে আছে 25%, ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং আছে আমার 18.5%, এদিকে আছে 12%, এন্ড সোশ্যাল স্টাডিজ এটা আছে 21%, এখানে আছে 27%, ফিজিক্যাল আছে 16%, 15.1%। ওকে, the given two pie chart shows that the differences between these 2010 to 2012 elements. The pie chart is divided into 6 elements, which is about represents the nursing, engineering, social studies, psychology, carpentry, sports science. Moreover, we can see that nursing is only 14% in 2012 and 2010. It's about 11.9%, and the engineering is about 18.5%, and the 2010 it is only 12%. Psychology is 18%, and the 2010 is 15.1%. Overall, the picture gives us a visualization clearly about this. The pie chart shows that the pre-tax profits to the 1,000 largest banks by tier on capital and nominal percentage of total. The pie chart gives information about pre-tax profit, and the North America accounts for 26.5%, and the value of Asia Pacific is lower, which is 18.9%. The hardest percent is in Western Europe, 46.2%, and in 2011 it is the lowest percentage in Eastern Europe, there 3.4%, and in 2007 and in 2011 the total profits are 786 and 762 billion dollars. Germany 82%, second 71%, Italy 61%, France 62%, and United Kingdom only 60%. Okay. The given image a bar graph that represents the population of major European countries in 1996 and 2007. The graph divided into two parts, which represents the population rate in 1996 and 2007. Moreover, we can see that the Germany follows an uptrend, whereas Poland follows a downtrend. Also from the graph, we can say that the highest value of Germany is 81% and the lowest value of Poland is only 31%. The second highest value of Turkey is 70%, and the Spain is 42%, France is 71%, and the United Kingdom is 59%. While the picture gives us a clear visualization. The following picture shows that information about shopping in a stationery store. In the left half of the picture, we can see that a white woman in pink sweater with her daughter in the same arms. The mother and the daughter look at each other with smiles in their faces. And the daughter holds a new bag in the hand, which highlighted color is pink color and also many thin color. And the daughter holds a whole and Yiba in the right half of the picture. The daughter carries the bag on the back. Also, she holds 6 colors pencil in the hands in front of the chest. So, some of this picture tell us about the two shop for stationery. The given image a map that represents the annual sunshine hours for France. According to this map, more than 2,750 hours represented by the dark red is located in the southern part of France. And also we see that after that 2,200, 2,050 to 2,750 hours represented by orange is in the southern part of France. Noticeably, 1,750 to 2,000 hours yellow occurs in the middle and the majority areas of France. However, less than 1,750 hours can only be found in the northern part of France. To some of the map tells about sunshine hours. Okay, note করতে হবে.
Word comes from California of a new weapon in the war on household pests. 2 scientists working for a firm in Anaheim, California, have developed a method to eliminate insects without using dangerous chemicals. The new poison? Hot air. The basic idea is that insects cannot adjust to temperatures much above normal. In laboratory experiments, cockroaches and termites can't survive much more than a quarter of an hour at 125 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 50 degrees centigrade. The new method involves covering a house with a huge tent and filling it with air heated to around 65 degrees centigrade. Hot air is forced in with fans, and the tent keeps the heat inside the house. Since termites try to escape by hiding in wooden beams, the heat treatment must be continued for a full 6 hours. But when it's all over and the insects are dead, there are no toxic residues to endanger humans or pets, and no funny smells. Scientists claim that there is no danger of fire either, since very few household materials will burn at 65 degrees centigrade. In fact, wood is prepared for construction use by drying it in ovens at 80 degrees centigrade, which is substantially hotter than the air used in this procedure.
This lecture mainly talk about a new weapon. Firstly, the lecturer emphasizes on that the word comes from California of a new weapon in the war on household pests. Two scientists working for a farm in Hanian also said that the California have developed a method to eliminate insects without using dangerous chemicals. Lastly, the speaker is stating crucial facts about that the library experiments, cockroaches and termites cannot survive much more than a quarter of an hour at 125 degrees Fahrenheit or about 50 degrees centigrade. The new method involves covering a house with a huge tent and filling it
Let's take a look at this video of these little kids. They were offered the option of having one marshmallow immediately or two marshmallows 15 minutes later. And you've got some very cute videotape of this experiment, so let's take a look.
Okay.
What we found is a very simple and direct way of measuring a competence that seems to make an important life difference.
A researcher tells these preschoolers that she's going to leave the room. If they wait for her to come back without eating the marshmallows, they'll get 2 marshmallows. Or they can ring the bell and she'll come back right away. But then they only get 1 marshmallow.
I won't ring the bell.
You won't ring the bell? Okay. Looking at children over time, Dr. Michelle has found that being able to wait longer at 4 has some pretty powerful implications.
And what are those powerful implications? Is that that later in life they're more disciplined and have more self-control? Is that pretty much it?
Well, they are more likely to achieve their life goals. They have better relationships. They did better on their SAT tests.
I know, that's crazy. All because they waited 15 minutes for 2 marshmallows?
I mean, I think it is crazy. I probably would have eaten all 3. But
yeah, me too.
But, you know, actually, yes, the ability to be able to pursue your goals, in this case it was to have 2 marshmallows versus 1, and not go on automatic and just grab the marshmallow, is a very important skill. But I think a main point in Mind in the Making is that these skills can be taught if you're 14 or 40 or 4. It's not ever too late, and any child can learn them, any adult can teach them, and it's never too late.
This lecture mainly talk about marshmallow taste. Firstly, the speaker emphasizes on that. Let's take a look at this video of these little kids. They were offered the opinions of having one marshmallow immediately, now or 2 marshmallow 15 minutes later. Also, she mentioned about, let's take a look. Okay, what we found is very simple and direct way of measuring a competency that seems to make an important life differences. Our research tells these precious colors. And thirdly, the speaker again said that they will get 2 marshmallow. Overall, the lecture gives us a
When you want to do some baking, where would you go to buy some flour, a florist or a grocery?
grocery.
Which part of the human body is related to the word visual?
Eye.
What do we call a person who sets fire to a house?
Fire riser.
What do you read when you order food in a restaurant?
Menu.
What do we call a small portion of cake or pizza?
Slice.
Three students are discussing impressions of university life compared to expectations at university.
Honestly, I thought uni would be a bit more like those movies, you know, like less studying, more just like having fun. The amount of work for my science and tech classes has been way harder than I thought, especially with all the lab reports and homework due every week. It's definitely a big change from high school.
I totally get that, Lily. The studies here really surprised me too, especially trying to manage the lectures and all the reading. But on the other hand, I've found the social life to be way better than I expected. I've joined a couple of clubs and met so many different people. It's a really great community, much more welcoming than I thought it would be.
Yeah, the social side has been a nice surprise for me too. But I actually thought I'd have more freedom to choose my classes and learn at my own speed. It feels like there are still so many required classes and set schedules, which kind of limits that independent way of studying I was hoping for. I thought I'd be able to guide myself more.
That's a good point, Jessica. I mean, sure, we have more flexibility than high school, but it's not quite the make-your-own-degree dream I imagined. Plus, I find it hard to get enough sleep because there's always something due or some event I feel like I should be at. It's like I'm always trying to balance everything.
I actually think there's a lot of freedom, even with the main classes. You get to choose how you manage your time and what study methods work best for you, which is a huge step up from being told what to do all the time. For me, that independence in daily life, like cooking for myself and budgeting, has been the biggest thing I've learned and something I really enjoy.
I agree with the daily life independence, that's definitely true. But when it comes to studying, I just feel like I'm still following a set path instead of just exploring what I'm interested in naturally. I guess I had this dream of really getting into unique subjects, but the basic classes feel a bit too much like high school extension sometimes.
Right? It's like the difference between what they tell you about uni and what it's actually like every day is bigger than I thought. I imagined having endless deep talks in coffee shops, not late nights in the library with instant noodles. Still, I wouldn't change the experience. It's just very different.
Yeah, it's definitely not a nonstop party, but the challenge of the schoolwork is actually pretty rewarding when you do well on a tough assignment. And while the social life isn't always like a sitcom, the real connections you make here feel a lot more real and supportive. I found a good balance, eventually.
I think that's it. It's about adjusting what you expect and finding your own flow. It's less about the big, sudden changes I thought would happen, and more about growing as a person in small ways and learning to handle more responsibility. I'm definitely learning a lot, just not always what I expected.
The three students are discussing impression of university life in compared. So the first speaker said that honestly I thought uni would be a bit more like those movies, you know, and I thought especially and with all the labs reports and homework due every week, it's definitely a big change from high school. Also, she mentioned that that's a good point. I mean, sure, we have more flexibility than high school, but it is not quite the make your own degree dream I imagine. Then the speaker again said that I totally get that, Lily, that studies have really surprised to me and surprising too, but on the other hand I have found the social life to be way better than I expect. I have going a couple of clubs and meet so many different peoples, and also she said that I actually think there is a lot of freedom even with the main classes. You get to choose how you manage your time and what study methods work best for you, which is huge step up from being told what to do all the time for me. And the third speaker said that that she have the social side has been a nice surprise for me too, but I actually thought I would have more freedom to choose my classes and learn at my own. And also the speaker 3 said that it is about adjusting what you expect and finding your own flow. It less about the big sudden changes I thought would happen.
3 students are discussing adjusting to academic English at university.
Honestly, I'm finding it pretty hard to get used to the academic English here, especially in lectures. Sometimes professors use so many complex terms that I'm always looking them up, and they speak so fast, particularly with different accents. It can be really hard to keep up.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean about the speed and accents. For me, it's not just listening, it's also the writing style. We have to use really formal language and specific structures in essays, which is a big leap from how I used to write. I'm always second-guessing if my sentences sound academic enough.
That's so true about the writing, River. It's not just about being formal. I've noticed we're expected to not just state facts, but to really think deeply about things and present a detailed argument. It's not just the words. It's how you put your points together and back them up. I find myself rereading my work all the time, trying to make my arguments better.
That critical analysis part is definitely tricky, Matilda. It feels like even in group discussions, I'm trying to turn my thoughts into academic English really quickly. And then when someone else is making a complicated argument, it's hard to follow what they're saying exactly, while also thinking of what to say back. My brain feels like it's running on overdrive.
One thing that's helped me a bit with the writing and understanding difficult arguments is reading more journal articles and research papers. It's like just surrounding yourself with the language. I've also found some university workshops on academic writing really useful, especially for understanding how to structure paragraphs and use good linking phrases.
Oh, definitely, River. Reading is super important. But I've also found that joining in seminars, even if I stumble a bit, has been super helpful. It pushes you to say your ideas out loud quickly, which is a totally different skill. It's one thing to write it down, but speaking academically is a whole other ballgame, isn't it?
I agree that seminars are important for practice, Matilda, but I still find them really intimidating. Sometimes I have an idea, but by the time I've put it together in my head in proper academic English, someone else has already made the point. It feels like there's pressure to answer right away and sound really good.
Don't worry too much about being perfect, Aria. I think the professors understand we're all getting used to it. I've started just focusing on getting my point across, even if I don't say it perfectly, and then making it better later. Maybe trying to just rephrase what others have said first before adding your own thoughts can buy you some time too.
That's a good strategy, River. I mean, it feels like it's a gradual process, not something you get good at overnight. We just have to keep practicing and using all the resources the university offers, like the Writing Center or language support. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
So এটা এখন আমি বলা শুরু করে দিব। This lecture mainly talk about adjusting to academic English at university. The speaker once said that honestly, I am finding it pretty hard to get used to the academic English here, especially in lectures, and they speak so fast, particularly with the different accents. It can be really hard to keep up, and also he may mention that critical analysis part is definitely tricky. Methodology, it feels like even in group discussion, I am trying to turn my thoughts into academic English really quickly. And also he agree that seminars are important for practice multimedia, but I still find them really intimidated. Then the speaker too said that yeah, I totally get what you mean about the speed and ancient. For me, it's not just listening, it's also the writing itself. We have to use a really formal language and a specific structure in essays, which is a big leap from how I used to write. And also he said that the critical analysis for the one thing that has helped me a bit with the writing and understanding the articles and research paper. And I have also found some university workshop on academic writing really useful, especially for understanding how to structure paragraphs. And the speaker three said that here there is so true about the writing driver. It's not just about being formal, and I have noticed that we are expected to not just state facts, but to really think deeply about things and present a detailed argument. It's not just a words, it's a how you put your points together and back them. And I found myself reading my work all the time.
You are working on a group presentation for class, and your teammates just decided on the order of presenters. They want you to go first, but you feel unprepared and think it would be better to go later. You're in a meeting with your group now. What do you say to your teammates?
Hi, I would like to discuss an issue we have encountered with the order of presence for our group presentation. The background is that you want me to go fast, but I feel unprepared and nervous. In this situation, what I can think of is to ask for you. I can go later. Besides this, another thing that comes to my mind is to offer help to the one who go first.
You are living in a student dorm and recently noticed that the refrigerator in your shared kitchen is not cooling properly. Some of your food has spoiled, and it's becoming a real inconvenience. You decide to speak to the accommodation manager about the issue. What do you say to the accommodation manager?
Hi, I would like to discuss an issue we have encountered with the refrigerator in the student room. The background is that refrigerator in the shared kitchen is not cooking properly. Some of my food has spoiled and it is becoming a real conversation in this situation. What I can think of is it to ask for you for repair the fridge as soon as possible. Besides this, another thing that comes to mind is request you to offer a temporary storage solution. সো এখন আমার স্টার্ট হয়ে গেল হচ্ছে রাইটিং পার্ট স্পিকিং পার্টটা শেষ সো দেখি রাইটিং পার্টটা আমি শুরু করে দিব সো রাইটিং পার্টের জন্য আমি ফার্স্টে প্রথম লাইনটাই নিব যে ইকোলজি is the study of interactions of organisms among themselves and এরপর আমি কোন লাইনটা নিব with their environment কোন লাইনটা নিতে পারি ওকে আমি এই লাইনটা নিই and with their environment while climatology এখন এই লাইনটা নিব climatology is the study this one study of the physical state of the atmosphere, comma, so these two fields of scientific study are distinctly different, comma, yet their modern beginnings trace back to natural history and plant geography, comma, and widely separated regions have structurally structurally and functionally similar vegetation if their climates are similar. ওকে দেখি কয় লাইন হয়েছে, আমি 60 থেকে 70 এর মধ্যেই রাখি বেশি, কারণ এটাই ঠিক আছে। 65 এর মধ্যে লেখার চেষ্টা করি। তো এখানে আমি একটু বানানটা ঠিকমতো মিলাই। ইকোলজি ইজ দ্য স্টাডি, ওকে, ওকে, আমি এখন নেক্সট দিয়ে দিব। তার আগে আমি একটু দেখি আমার কয় মিনিট। 5 মিনিটে লেখা হয়ে গেছে। সো এখন আমি এটা করব। ওকে ফাইন, দেখি এটা কোন কোন লাইন নেওয়া যায়। As a philosopher, ফার্স্ট লাইনটাকে প্যারাফ্রেজ করলেই হবে। ফিলোসোফার, mathematician, educator, then social critic and political activist, Bertrand Russell, authorate over 17 books and thousands of essays and letters. So he was arguably the greatest philosopher then of the 20th century and the greatest logician since as Aristotle বলাতে দেয় ভালো। এটা একটা নাম, Aristotle, while he was also one of the century's leading public intellectuals and won the Nobel Prize. for literature in 1950, and Russia was involved. Maybe pattern so involved. Russia involved often passionately in numerous social আচ্ছা আমি আর লিখবো না আর বেশি হয়ে যাচ্ছে তাহলে mathematician educator social critic CRITIC and political activist Bertrand Russell authored over 70 books and thousands of assassin letters. So he was arguably the greatest philosopher of the 20th century and the greatest logician since Aristotle, while he was also one of the century's leading public intellectuals and won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1950, and Russell was involved often passionately in numerous social political controversies. So এখন আমরা নেক্সটে চলে যাই. So if the company some people think should involve, okay, হ্যাঁ এটার জন্য আমাদের ওখানে স্ট্রাকচার ইউজ করবো আমি এটার মধ্যে. So আমি লেখা শুরু করি. In many companies people have different opinions about whether workers should be included in decision making. Some people think that involving workers helps the company grow. Then while others believe that only employers should make important decisions. In this যেহেতু এটা একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ, তো এখানে আমার ওপিনিয়ন তো অবশ্যই ডিসকাস করে দিতে হবে. তো এখানে আমি লিখি ইন দিস এসে I will discuss both the advantages and disadvantages of including workers in decision making. Firstly, involving workers in decisions can bring better as workers deal with tasks, so they understand the real problems of the company. When employers listen to them, they may discover new solutions that they never thought about. This improves productivity, helps the company work more efficiently. Secondly, employees feel valued when their opinions are heard. If workers are included in discussions, they feel respected and important. As a result, their motivation increases and they work harder for the company. Okay, then likhi, however, there are also disadvantages. One major problem is that decision making becomes slower when too many people are involved. Discussions can take a long time. This may delay important actions, especially in urgent situations. Sometimes companies need quick decisions, and practical, then involving all employees in every major decision can slow down the process. Okay, then especially especially in large organizations. Moreover, not all works possess the expertise required for strategic decisions, which could result in less effective outcomes. From what has been discussed above, it can unarguably be concluded that despite some drawbacks, the benefits of employees in decision making should never ওকে একটু বানানগুলো চেক দিই থেকে 244টা ওয়ার্ডের মতো লিখছি সো আমাদের রাইটিং পার্ট শেষ এখন আর আমরা চলে যাব রিডিং পার্টে ফ্যাক্ট থেকে কঠিন পার্ট বলা যেতে পারে 3 টাইপস অফ প্যাথোলিটিক্স আচ্ছা এটা কেমিক্যাল হবে plastic flexible will be banned from toys and child 10 while 3 other types of items are temporarily from child care products. Okay, remove something হবে prohibited হবে from child care and plus child smart consumers complain তাহলে advocates হবে that on grace period allow pet predators to send toys rather than forcing them through dispose হবে আমরা এটা ডিসপোজ করতে হবে সো শেষ আমরা এখন সেকেন্ডে চলে আসলাম participating regularly in physical activity has been shown benefit in individual health and well-being. Regular physical activity is important in reducing the risks of chronic disease such as heart collocation as heart disease and stroke, obesity, diabetes and some form of cancer. The National Physical Activity Guidance from Adults recommends commence at least 30 minutes of moderate intensive physical activity. এটা হবে preferably everyday, যেহেতু তাহলে preferably everyday of the week. Health benefits, তাহলে to obtain health benefits. ওকে, এরপর আমরা 3 নাম্বারটা চলে আসলাম। দেখি 3 নাম্বার কি বলছে। Timing is important. For you have you noticed that during the school day you get just and whether I don't mean the lessons you don't, but the stuff. Okay, but one occasion you can be bothered with you. Oh dash have other things mind. May hobe, you may have other things of restless looking forward what whether particular lesson 100% এটা effort দিতে হবে, কারণ আমার কাছে 100% effort দিতে হবে। effort. The same is true revision. Your mental and physical is important. The attitude. If you rise to something in your revision and just if you have planned sleep and week probably do not message, you need a time. If you don't keep putting it off. Okay, এখন আমরা 4 নাম্বারটা করব। এখানে কি বলছে, from the time of the very civilization has and about it was how in this time the sun was seen to make it daily across in the sands. এটা তো journey হবে। At night the moon appeared every night. Little wonders did not appear at more dawn of heavens was dotted. They known as the stars. They became known as the stars. It was thought, কারণ became দেওয়া হচ্ছে past sentence এর কথা বলতেছে, তাহলে that every star heavens had it purpose and that the one of words could be discovered by making a study of them. Secrets. It was well known that there were wandering stars there appeared in different night positions against neighbor, and they become too sensitive. In fact, it melamania meant to for determine the true nature of this wandering system involved, and then to predict. The predicti hobe, predicti যায় এটার সাথে, প্রেডিক্ট পজিশনের, কারণ আকাশের পজিশনটা প্রেডিক্ট করছে, কারণ এখানে প্রেডিক্টর আমি বসালাম। ওকে, এখন আমরা হচ্ছে এটা দেখব। দেখি, a music student at the University of is celebrating being featured produced by students celebrating after being featured on pop megastars Michael Jackson and jonno last year at the recording studios and said complaint and loss which features reclamations complaint and okay about দিব, কারণ এটা অ্যালবাম নিয়ে বলতেছে। First date Ferry decided to submit his demo and 2 lost off after he saw successful volume of on head. So এখানে volume, how volume. I found this competition when simply the internet for one day. এটা সার্চিং হবে, কারণ আমি এখনো খুঁজতেছি। So and was lucky that was still to entire. So এইখানে was lucky তখন খুঁজতেছিলাম, কখন দেখি অপশনে কি কি আছে। এক্সপায়ার তো হবে না, চান্স হবে, টাইম হবে। ওকে, এখানে আমাকে কি কি বলছে, which of the sentence is correct, the region heart has extended it. Okay, এটা will be has gone না, will be আছে, so এটা হবে না। will be exterminated within 20 years. না এটাও হবে না. It used to be one of the most common species. It was one of the most common species. এটা হবে the study difficult এমন কিছু কি এখানে বলা আছে. Last species remain in habit. One of our hardest bird species. Decline. Okay, ঠিক আছে, decrease, decline, ঠিক আছে. Okay, so next আমরা যাই. এখানে কি কি বলছে? 180 supported by paragraph. Okay. First, he went to the times of economic crisis. First এটা হবে, it is primarily purpose to the benefit. সেটা হবে না. It was slow improved control for workers. এটা পাইছি. এটা হবে. It's help worker level for a strong bond. এটা বল নাই. মানে strong bond levels. আর এটা হলো particularly strong bond ওইটা না. এটা হবে না. 1937 এর কথা উল্লেখই করে নাই. ওকে, নেক্সট করে দিই. সো এখন ফ্রি অর্ডার আছে. Now people can attach a GPS. এটা হবে না. This GPS and transit cover of then it is এটা তো হবেই না. People don't know, didn't know pandas well. এটা হবে, কারণ এটার সাথে এটার মিল নেই. তাহলে now people can attach a GPS them then this GPS. এটা হবে this GPS আর overlap এটাই হবে. ওকে, এখন হচ্ছে now I started call luminaires. এটা হবে না. Camera help science of traffic lights. এটা তো হবেই না. but the ট্রাফিক লাইটের কথা হচ্ছে ফার্স্ট 2 3 হবে. আমার মনে হচ্ছে এখন নাও আই স্টার্ট আপ. it was making other startup is a startup then the start. ওকে, ফাইন. এখন আমাদের অনেকটা ফিলিং দা কাজতেছে. এখানে বলতেছি employees should adhere to regulation that conditions of the environment of safe and minimize তো হবে না. needed তো হবেই না. define conditions. Conditions the measure of are intend to minimize workplace. Okay, in some countries companies are to purchase insurance to protect rights and insurance. এখানে required হবে. companies are required purchase, তাহলে এটা আমি required দেই. আর এটা তো মিনিমাইজে যায়নি. ওকে ওকে, এরপরে হচ্ছে dance has played an important role in many musicals. In some dance numbers are show, but dance is more effective when it part of the in some cases dance number of particle part of a plot হবে, কারণ এটা একটা part. Annually example reach 90 million the danceable to enhanced rather than interrupted. ওকে, এবার হচ্ছে egg snacks eating small whose diet consists only eggs. Some eat shallow whole. As the snake has noted, instead some snakes eat bigger, but it requires special treatment. These snakes have spines that stick out from the backbone. The spiners, the eggs open as it passes through the throat. Okay. এখন এগুলো হচ্ছে অন নেটিভ স্পিসিস না of the more than 1000 bat species worldwide, 22 are to America, North America. তাহলে native কারণ নর্থ native তো and while there are no shoot those champions those live there. Because they are insected, these bats, moths, beetles, bacteria, such consume moths. এখানে এটাই হবে consume moths আর they also protect gardens crops such as pests, এদের থেকে রক্ষা করে। ওকে, ঠিক আছে। এখন আমাদের এই প্রশ্নে কি বলছে? The rise of the special amana time of left of the many details. So South Arabian city are built by natives. I believe that one comes to এটা ট্রাভেল বুকই হবে সৌদি আরবের আছে এটা কি সায়েন্টিস্ট 12 বিলিয়ন নিউরন সেলস ইন দ্য ব্রেন আর এটা কি বলছে না হয় নাই সুপার কম্পিউটার এই যে ঠিক আছে এইটাই হবে ওকে দেখতে দেখতে আমাদের রিডিং ও শেষ এখন আমরা লিসেনিং এ যাব সো স্টার্ট করা যাক
Low achievers are more likely to drop out of school. Some boys leave school early. And the main reason is push and pull factors. The main reason of pull is that the economy and market provide many job opportunities for boys with mainly two destinations, shipping and traineeship. So dropping from school is not absolutely bad for boys. But girls don't have the same opportunities. Girls are less likely to leave school because fewer jobs are available for them. The transmission is hard. So, for girls, dropping from school is completely bad. And if they do so, they can either get part-time jobs or just stay unemployed.
Okay. Low achievers are more likely to drop out of school. Some boys leave school early. This is because the economy provides many job opportunities for them. However, girls don't have the same opportunities. It is therefore dropping from school is bad for girls because they can only find part-time jobs or just stay unemployed. Low achievers are more likely to drop out of school. Some boys leave school early. This is because the economy provides many job opportunities for them. However, girls don't have the same opportunities. Therefore, dropping from school is bad for girls because they can only find part-time jobs or just stay unemployment. ঠিক আছে বানান এখন
Your accent really reveals a lot about who you are and your identity. It will tell people what your native language is, be able to tell you probably where you come from.
Mark Pell, a communications professor at McGill University in Montreal. And according to Pell, one reaction to a different accent can be a bias against that person.
Previous research that has been done elsewhere showed that people who have an accent tend to be trusted less, simply because they have an accent. But the idea that we would have a bias against anyone who sort of doesn't sound like us, I think probably relates to some sort of evolutionary or long-standing suspicion we have of outsiders or strangers. So this might be sort of an ingrained response that we have to the accent.
But accents aren't the only thing we listen for when we have to decide if we trust another person. Tone of voice also plays a role. Pell and his team wanted to know if people would trust a confident tone, even if it came from someone with an accent.
For a glimpse of what the U.S. economy might look like in the future, we head to Scandinavia. No country is dropping cash as fast as Sweden. Just 13% of people there reported using cash to buy something last year. But as Maddie Savage reports from Stockholm, some Swedes are concerned that things have changed too quickly.
Next to the cinnamon buns and open sandwiches at this restaurant, there's a large blue sign with the English word cash crossed out. Notes and coins stopped being accepted here a year ago after staff noticed most people were hardly using them.
It was super rare. I'd say 5%, something like that, in the restaurant was using cash.
That's General Manager Christopher Loeb, who's been keeping an eye on how customers have responded.
There's hardly been any reaction. Almost everybody has the alternative payment method, like credit card. And it's good for both the guests and for us.
He says scrapping cash saves time at the till and helps protect against theft.
For the first time, Japanese researchers have conducted a real-life experiment that shows how some traffic jams appear for no apparent reason. They placed the 22 vehicles on a single track and asked the drivers to cruise around at a constant speed of 30 kilometers an hour. At first, traffic moves smoothly, but soon, the distance between cars started to vary and vehicles clumped together at one point on the track, but the jam spread backward around the track, like a shockwave at a rate of about 20 kilometers an hour. Real-life jams move backward at about the same speed.
Well, in 2004 we integrated ticketing in southeast Queensland, so we introduced a paper ticket that allowed you to travel across all the three modes in southeast Queensland, so bus, train and ferry.
And the second stage of integrated ticketing is the introduction of a smart card. And the smart card will enable people to store value, so to put value on the card and then to use the card for travelling around the system.
Always try to best understand your partner's specific communication styles. A lot of times we'll take it personally if we notice someone's avoiding us or they're communicating with us less frequently than we'd like. And this doesn't mean that they don't care about you, they don't respect you. This is likely how they were modeled communication as a child. Your partner's communication style typically comes from how their caregivers communicated with each other. You should feel comfortable asking your partner, how do you best handle conflict? Also, some people struggle with verbal communication. So if that's the case, you may want to ask your partner to write down what they're feeling. And this way they won't feel so overwhelmed. Finally, know that communication requires compromise. So if you have a completely different communication style from your partner, know that it's going to be a work in progress until you figure out how you're both best going to communicate. My best piece of advice would be to join like-minded groups. So, for example, if you're into dance, join a dance group. And you can find a lot of these on, something like Meetup or some sort of app. But you want to find groups that are similar to you, and then you can build a friendship from there. Because typically, if you're interested in something, those might be those type of people that you want to build a friendship with. One of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou, I think, can apply to friendships. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So when you're building friendships with people, they're going to show you initially who they are. So trust that. And I'm a big proponent of trusting your instincts and investing in friendships that make you feel comfortable from the outset.
Research suggests ADHD is 3 to 4 times more likely to be detected in childhood in boys, as they tend to exhibit more disruptive behaviours. The symptoms in girls tend to be more subtle, less hyperactive, more inattentive. The diagnosis gap between males and females appears to shrink in adulthood, but psychologists say the bias can remain. The ADHD Foundation says increased awareness is needed in health and educational settings about how the condition can present differently. A late diagnosis can negatively impact on relationships, careers and mental health. In England, NICE guidance has been updated to make it easier for doctors to detect women and girls with ADHD. Work to improve neurodevelopmental services is underway in Scotland and Wales, but there are currently no dedicated services for adults with ADHD in Northern Ireland.
First, there was the keyboard, then the touchscreen. Some tech companies say a wearable pair of glasses could be the next leap in technology, even if it didn't work out for Google Glass.
In the future, we won't be only limited to our smartphones when it comes to understanding the world around us. So this is our early investment in that future.
The US-based company Snap's investment is this, the Spectacles 3 sunglasses. This third version is smarter than the previous ones. It has 2 cameras. The corner of the glasses lights up when recording video and allows the wearer to put 3D objects in the video. Here are some flowers.
Or the bird, which is really cool.
Users can capture up to a minute of video.
Do you keep strong emotions bottled up inside? Perhaps you always tell the people around you that you're all right and that they shouldn't worry about you, even though you're not in the best shape. While you may appear calm on the outside, hiding your negative emotions can have a negative impact. According to clinical psychologist Victoria Tarat, suppressing your emotions is said to affect blood pressure, memory, and self-esteem. It can also aggravate depression and anxiety in the long term. So, instead of repressing how you feel, acknowledge your emotion in a safe environment. Identifying your emotion can be
Alberta is launching a huge geothermal energy project to tap into green power sources. The initiative aims to harness underground heat to supply electricity for thousands of homes across the province. New facilities will cut reliance on fossil fuels and create sustainable jobs. Local engineer Clara Wong says reliable clean energy is crucial for Alberta's future. The project includes drilling test wells and building infrastructure over the next 3 years. Construction is set to begin this autumn, with full operations expected by 2028. Environmental groups praise the move, noting it aligns with Canada's climate goals. The province hopes to lead in renewable energy innovation.
কোনটা যেন এখানে সন্দেহ লাগতেছে, দিব কি দিব না বুঝতেছি না। এটা মানে কি লাগতেছে, হারভেস্ট শুনলাম না এই শুনলাম, বুঝতেছি না। আচ্ছা দেখি 2 নাম্বার চলে যাবে ভুল হইলে।
The world has changed. The economics of the world have changed, and the art market has come in behind that. Absolutely, and it is part of the reason why Christie's left Australia and no longer has an office here. And Sotheby, it's basically a branch or a foundation, for want of a better word, of Sotheby's International. So neither auction firm has a really permanent international existence in Australia because they are focusing their attention on the places they can make money, which is the Middle East, India, and Asia.
অস্ট্রেলিয়ার সিচুয়েশন এক্সটেন্সেস শুনলাম। ওকে,
A good architectural structure should be useful, durable, and beautiful.
good architectural structure should be useful. তারপর কি বলো, durable and beautiful.
It is really a comprehensive program covering both theory and practice.
Comprehensive program covering both theory and practice. Theory and practice. মানে practice and theory, না theory and practice ই হবে।
Safety glasses should be worn while doing experiments in the lab.
Glasses should be on while during নাকি doing, আচ্ছা doing ই হবে, experiments in the lab এরকম। এখন doing না during, safety glasses এটা করতে হবে on while ডুইংই হবে, কাজই তো করে। হ্যাঁ, সেফটি গ্লাসেস শুড বি ওন while doing experience in life। ঠিক আছে, ওকে, দেখি এখন রেজাল্ট কি আসে। সো রেজাল্ট আপডেট দিয়ে দিব। সো আমার 1 ঘন্টা 25 মিনিটে পুরোটা হচ্ছে ডান হয়ে গেছে এক্সাম। এখন রেজাল্ট আসলে আমি অবশ্যই আপডেট করব। সো রেজাল্ট তো দিয়ে দিল। তো আমার খুবই খারাপ আসছে স্পিকিং এ। স্পিকিং এ বেশ কিছু পার্টে আমি ঠিকমতো বলতেই পারি নাই। এখানে ফামলিং করছিলাম, এটা আমার খেয়াল আছে, এটাতেও ফামলিং করছিলাম। এটা খুবই বাজে হয়েছে। এটাও ভুল উচ্চারণ হয়তো হয়েছে, যার কারণে নাম্বার কম আসছে। পাইচারে ফামলিং করছিলাম, পাইচারে নাম্বার কম আসছে। এটাতে মোটামুটি আসছে, এটাতেও মোটামুটি আসছে। এটা তো চলে, 60-এর উপরে আছে। এটা তো একবারে খুব খারাপ হয়েছে। এটা তো আমি
What do we call a person who...
ঠিক বলছিলাম, ফায়ার রাইজারই তো বলছিলাম, ফায়ার রাইজার। তারপর কেন ভুল দিল? মেনুই তো বলছিলাম, মেনু। তারপর 2টা খেয়ে দিছে। তো এটা চরম লেভেলের খারাপ হয়েছে আমার সামারাইজ গ্রুপ ডিসকাশন, যেটা তো আমার মাস্ট উন্নতি করতেই হবে। 2টাই অনেক খারাপ হয়েছে। এইগুলোতেও খারাপ আসছে। সো রাইটিং এ যা আসছে ভালোই আসছে, খারাপ না। হয়তো বানান টানান ভুল ছিল, কারণ এত যে বললাম না বানান ভুল আছে, ওখানে ভালোই ভুল ছিল। আর মোটামুটি সবই ঠিক আছে। ওকে, তো এই ছিল রেজাল্ট। বাট আমি স্পিকিং নিয়ে একবারে সন্তুষ্ট না, স্পিকিং এ অনেক ইমপ্রুভ করতে হবে। সো আমার ফোকাসটা বেশিরভাগ স্পিকিং এ থাকবে। আর রিডিং বরাবরই আমার অনেক ভালো হয়। সো স্পিকিংটা আমার খুব ভালো একটা রেজাল্ট আনতে হবে, এটা অ্যাটলিস্ট 80-র উপরে ঘরে রাখতে হবে।